What's going on, guys? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video, man. And in this video we're gonna be talking about the Lia Thomas outrage, man, because she just won an NCAA championship recently. It looks like Thursday she won this. So I saw this news kind of Thursday, and if you're on my channel, man, you know how I already feel about this, but let's go ahead and dissect it. So Lia Thomas is a transgender swimmer. It was a dude who's now become a woman, and she's now swimming for women. Now, as we know, when Lia Thomas first started transitioning, she started transition at, I think, when she was 22. And this was during the summer of, I believe, 2018. And she was swimming at that time for the men's swim team. Now, I tried to look up, like, did Lia Thomas win any, like, events or so as a man? And there's really nothing. So then she transitioned, and as soon as she transitioned, she starts winning literally everything. In December 3rd to the 5th of 2021, she swims the fastest time in the nation in the 200 and 500 free at the Zippy Invitational. So I'm gonna just go through everything she did once she transitioned. So beforehand, you know, she didn't actually really win much of anything. I can't really find anything about Lia Thomas breaking records, making history, none of that. She transitioned, or he transitioned into a woman, and now, you know, they're swimming the fastest time. We had Cynthia Millen in December 24th, 2021, resigns in protest after Lia was competing. Late December 2021, early January 2022, you know, you had a bunch of Olympians speak out about the situation. January 8th, 2022, Lia wins 2 individual events in her home meet at Penn, because she goes to Penn State, I believe, and she swims there. January 22nd, 2022, Lia posts 2 individual victories in Penn's dual meet at Harvard. January 25th, Brooke Ford, one of Thomas' primary competitors for the national title in the 500 freeze, said she was not a problem racing against Thomas at the NCAAs. Now, so she went from male, well, I don't know why I keep saying she, but he went from, you know, male and then transitioned to a woman. So now he's a trans woman. He's competing in sports, and it's gotten to the point where he's won. I mean, Lia has won an NCAA swimming competition in Division I as of Thursday, and that Thursday was, I believe it was like March 17th, 2022. So as she won, you know, she was swimming here in Georgia. That's weird. I didn't even know she was swimming here in Georgia, but they were swimming at Georgia Tech facility. And it says here, because I'm reading this article from USA Today, about Penn swimmer Lia Thomas becomes first trans woman to win NCAA swimming championship. And it says, you know, there were barely any cheers after she won, and some athletes held signs saying "Save Women's Sports" in the stands at Georgia Tech facility, protesting the swimmer who swam for the men's team for 3 seasons. Thomas, who entered the competition as the top seed, finished a 500-yard freestyle with season best time of 4 minutes. 33.24 seconds. The race was close into the 100 yards, with Virginia's Emma Wilson finishing second at 4 minutes and 34 seconds. I didn't have a whole lot of expectations for this meet, Thomas said. I was just happy to be here and race and compete the best I could. So she goes on to win an NCAA title. I'm not a man, transgender Lia Thomas says she belongs on the women's team, is eyeing 2024 Olympics. Thomas began transitioning in 2019 with hormone therapy and followed NCAA and Ivy League rules. However, she faced scrutiny inside and outside the sport about if transgender women and girls should be allowed to participate in female sports. Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps said the situation was complicated in an interview with CNN this year. It's not complicated, Michael. You just don't want to tell the truth. I believe we should all feel comfortable with who we are in our skin, but I think sports should be played on an even playing field, he said. A few weeks later, some of her teammates sent a letter to the school in Ivy League stating she should not be allowed to compete. Now, when Lia Thomas first started winning, because back maybe like a month or 2 ago, I was hearing about Lia Thomas winning competitions, And her teammates were trying to come out anonymously and say, you know, it's not fair. I don't think she should compete. It's just not fair to other women. And the thing about that is, don't come out anonymous and say this stuff. If you are a woman who was born a woman, you didn't transition, you on the women's swim team, and you have someone who was swimming literally at the same school as you as a male in the male swim team, transitioned at 22 and is now swimming on the women's swim team and breaking every record on your team, you need to stand up, put your name out there saying, my name is Sammy Sosa, or whatever you want to say your name is, and tell the truth that this isn't fair and these are the reasons. Now, how I personally feel about this issue, I feel like women's sports are being destroyed because of this. One, women have got to speak out about this type of stuff, because if you don't, this is what happens. It gets to the point where it goes too far. Being anonymous helps no one. Most women are like, I don't want to be seen as a transphobe and stuff. Yo, being a bigot is a completely different thing than speaking the truth. Okay? If Lia Thomas was born a male and all the way up to the age of 22 decided, you know what? I'm not feeling right inside. I'm going to transition to take hormones. Did you know that Lia Thomas lived their entire life built as a grown man until 22, transition, and they think some hormone suppression therapy is going to change the biological makeup that they're male? Just because you throw a wig on, take a few hormones, doesn't mean for 22 years of your life you weren't growing up as a male and then you decided, oh, time to suppress it, time to be a woman. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, you're transitioning. Yeah, you know, you may have a few extra little hormones, but your body, your bone density, how big you are, how strong you are, was already built for 22 years. So when you decide to race against women, it's not going to be fair for women. Regardless of what the left says, anybody, there are differences between male and female. Well, there are differences between men and women. That's just what it is. That's just how the good Lord made it. You can argue with God about it, but men have certain traits that make us men. Women have certain traits that make us women have certain traits that make them women. Now, she's breaking every single record. And I even seen recently where after she wins and people are basically booing her and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's too much negativity surrounding all this. It's like she's trying to make it seem like, you know, it's too much negativity. People aren't happy for me. And it's like, Lia has to realize that you can't expect people to just cheer and celebrate when you were just literally 3 seasons ago on the same Penn State team, but as a male, not really winning anything, and then you transition and you're destroying the women's sports. Like I said, women, you guys can't even be yourselves nowadays. You have men who are transitioning, trying to be better women than women. They're claiming they've always been women, and they think they're better than most women. You have men who are now trans, who are winning beauty pageants, like I said, you know, back in my We Spa video. You have men trying to take over women's areas and bathrooms. Now you have women getting taken over in their own sports. Pretty soon, being an OG woman is going to be like, wow, like, you're really a woman? Like, that's going to be like the anomaly. The norm is going to be that, like, it is really getting to the point where it feels like women are not going to exist in the future. As crazy as that seems, it really does seem like that, because no women are actually speaking out about, you know, men and women's sports. They'll do it anonymously, or they don't want to be called a transphobe. You need to tell the truth. If people told the truth this entire time, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you know, men who transition into women are destroying women in their own sports. Trans people that are doing this, you will never see a trans woman, I mean not trans woman, trans man, a woman that transitioned into a man ever beat men at men's sports. That just literally doesn't exist. Like, you never hear of it. So the only time you hear this is men who transition to women, and then they don't just win competition, they dominate the women in the sports. Now, I came up with a solution long time ago in one of my videos. I said there should be men's sports where men compete against men, women's sports where women compete against women, and this means biological. So what you were born as on your birth certificate, that's what you compete in. Regardless of if you transition, how many hormones you take, whatever you're doing, that's what you compete as. And then for trans people, if you're a trans woman, which means you're a man who transitioned to a woman, or a trans man, which is a woman that transitioned to a man, all you have to do is compete in trans man and trans women competitions. Literally, people would watch, and it would be interesting to see a championship of nothing but trans men, which are all women who transition into men, compete against each other. People will watch nothing but trans women, nothing but men who transition into women compete against each other only. Yeah, you may not be competing against women, but it's not fair for you to be born a man all your life, then transition and blow these women out the water. Now, even when it comes to Lia Thomas losing competitions, I still don't care whether she win, lose, tie, draw, break her leg in the water. It doesn't matter. She shouldn't be competing against real women. The whole point is for her to have her own competition with other trans women. So if anyone says, well, she lost the competition recently, she either threw the competition or she was just off her game. But regardless, she shouldn't be competing. I don't care what anyone says. Regardless, she should not be competing with other women, especially if she was not born a woman. It's not that difficult to comprehend. If you weren't born a woman, you don't compete with women. If you weren't born a man, you don't compete with men. Like, literally, it gets that simple. Like, it's that simple. I don't understand, like, where the confusion lies. So you have women, feeling like they're just, getting taken advantage of. And then you have these organizations like the NCAA and other areas, like, they're just so woke that they're like, yeah, if if we see that you're on hormone suppression therapy for at least a year, then you're good. And it's just like, literally, that doesn't make any sense. You could be on hormone therapy for a year, but that doesn't negate the fact that you were still born a man. You were racing with men just 3 seasons ago. You transitioned because you took some hormone therapy, and now all of a sudden you think you're a woman. That doesn't make you a woman. What's crazy about most of the stuff is like, just because you do something to yourself doesn't make you the other thing. Like, I'm a man. There's nothing I could do of taking hormones and chopping stuff off that's going to ever, and I know this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, that's going to ever make me a woman. I'm a man. That's it. Like, what you were born as, unfortunately, the Lord made you one way. Now, whatever you think you are in your head, whatever you want to transition into, that's on you. But what you were born as is unfortunately what you are. No matter how much you try to change it, that's what you are. A lot of the wokies have decided that gender and sex are, they're alternatable. Look, male and female is basically like your role in society, right? That's your gender role. So as a male, I go chop wood, I go lift up heavy things, I open the door. As a woman, you're more nurturing, you may care for kids. Now, gender roles, that's something that you can say, like, I don't feel like men should be doing that. Like, that's a woman thing, she could do that too. Or I feel like men could be nurturers too. You can maybe argue that. But your actual sex, like, are you male, like a man, like male or female? There's no argument there. Like, you're literally what you were born with, and what hangs between your legs is what you are. And that's what you'll always be, no matter if you cut it off, no matter if you take hormones, like that. It is what it is. But yeah, man, I saw a lot of people outraged about this, and I'm like, this has just gone so far. And a lot of people are like, we need to accept it. But what they fail to realize is that by accepting this stuff, you actually trample on others. And all the women can sit there and do is go, dang, for 22 years of my life, I've been sitting up here trying to become the best woman. I'm the best on the team. This person says one day they're a woman, they transition, take a year of hormone therapy, and they're destroying records and beating me in my own competition that I trained 22 years for in the matter of 1 year because they said they're a woman now. It's not fair, bro. Just everybody should have their own lane of competition. Men compete with men, women compete with women, trans man competes with trans men, trans women compete with trans women. That's all you could do about it, bro. There's no other way to tell the story. But anyways, man, let me know your guys' thoughts down below on this whole Lia Thomas and, you know, trans women competing with real women. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace.